This video is called Guy Pretty Privilege. I think beautiful people just in general have some type of privilege, but let's talk about it.
I always appreciate it when women understand the different ways that they treat different types of men. Guy pretty privilege is another word for hypergamy. So, first of all, I'd like to thank her for noticing. And second of all, I have a few stories for you to try to
Okay,
encourage you to maybe move up a few notches if possible. But
let's go to
first,
the
listen
gym.
to how she understands. It's therapeutic.
I think if the unattractive guys tried to do the things that attractive guys did to girls, they would be called out for harassment.
Yeah, exactly. This girl from an old video said, don't catcall me unless you're attractive, and then she said it was a joke, which means it's kinda true.
But if an attractive guy did what unattractive guys did, it would be considered cute.
This is where my stories come in. I did some not very cute things that went over just fine.
I feel like attractive guys have kind of like a act like an asshole card that they could use whenever they want because they have a pretty face, and they have unlimited ways on how to hit on women without being a creep.
Yeah, you can say quite a wide range of things, and it will be okay, but only as long as she feels like this about you. This is a drawing of me when I was at my most attractive and a relationship that I had during that time where I did nothing and she did more than she should have. This is a timeline of that relationship. I had a
Okay,
crush on this girl when I was 11, and she pretty much ignored me until after college when I lost weight and got in shape.
okay.
And she sent me a suggestive message on Facebook where she saw my pictures, and we began a certain kind of relationship. And
Uh-huh.
eventually, she let me know that she had been cheating on a different guy with me. And I said, That's a
Oh,
bad idea.
it's
You should probably either have
yeah,
a boyfriend
yeah.
or have fun, and you should pick one. And so she did. She
That's
got rid of him
dangerous.
and said, Now we can
For
be together.
you? Oh
And I
no.
said, Well, that's not part of the deal. This guy's just
Yeah,
gonna
that
be
was
me later. And
yeah.
she said, Oh, darn, and continued seeing me anyway. And also, I had no money and she had money, so she paid for everything while I continued to see other girls on the side. That's how much
Interesting
difference
story.
this can make. If
Yeah.
you can cross this line, you're gonna experience quite a big power differential.
Unattractive guys have to be more slow about it. They have to be more nonchalant and sneaky about hitting on a girl.
Sneaky, okay, we used to call that getting to know someone. When you're familiar with somebody, it becomes easier to create that
100%.
bond. And maybe you, as an individual, can work your way out of it, but you can't have everyone works their way out of it. Because if they did, and everybody became more attractive, women would just reevaluate this into another one of these. There would be 80% of the guys who made it would be reevaluated into the didn't make it zone. And those guys have no choice. They have to get familiar with women first. Otherwise, they just get completely left out. And that's why the world is looking more and more like this. People don't get to know
Sad.
each other anymore. And if
Yeah.
you try, women will call it sneaky. That's the one
Yeah.
thing she said that I
That's the weird thing, man. It's like not everybody can just hit it off instantly. You have to attempt to get to know somebody else. But a lot of people they're impatient, right? They say they fall in love instantly and then like they picture like their whole lives with you, but that only happens to a select amount of people. Not many people want to just be friends first. I don't know why.
know each other
I
anymore.
really don't
And
know
if you
why.
try, women will call it
What's
sneaky.
wrong
That's
with
the one thing
friends?
she said that
I
I
don't
didn't
get
like.
it.
They also can't be arrogant and rude, where a lot of attractive guys get away with being rude.
That's me. I used to be rude. I was so bitter after I found out the difference between how people treat you when you move from here to here that I actually
You were
made a
bitter.
game
Okay.
out of what is the
Wow.
rudest thing that I can say to someone who I know already likes me before she doesn't like me anymore, and I never found it. I wrote a few of them down, but I don't feel safe showing you. I played other games too.
Wow.
I once met a girl on the computer. I went
Okay.
to her place 3 times without
Okay.
ever telling her my name. And then on my way
What?
out the door, the third time, I said, Are you gonna ever ask me my name or what? And she said, I didn't want to offend you. Like I was gonna say, whoa, you're moving a little fast, aren't we? No, I'm not encouraging any of this behavior. This is degenerate. The
Yeah,
only reason
100%.
I did it is because I was bitter, because I couldn't be liked without being likable. I didn't want to put in the work to get
Mm,
out of this area, and when I finally did, I still felt like this on the inside, and I
okay.
said, oh, now it's my turn to do this to someone else. And that's
The cycle. That is a cycle. um, it's painful and it's sad. And I think, most people, whenever this does happen, they inflict this torture slash, emotional issue. They let it out on somebody else, and in return, that person lets it out on other people. I wish there was a simple solution. I wish I could just say like, oh yeah, everybody should just be nicer to each other, right? I mean, of course, yeah, people should be nicer to each other, 100%. But it's always down to like the individual, the personal person. Everybody, has their own issues and their own demons. And, the dating market, it doesn't make it easy to try and figure these things out. And of course, like, yeah, if at one time you were a four, right? You see it all the time, not all the time, but you see it like online. Somebody that was like 300 pounds, right? Overweight, obese, and then they lose it all and then they get some muscles and like, of course, they feel better about themselves, but in doing so, they gain a lot of popularity because, a lot of people just sit in being 300 pounds. It takes a lot of effort to lose all that weight. And I can totally see how that could turn you into some type of jaded person because at the end of the day, you're still the same guy. Regardless if you were 300 pounds and now you're 150, you're still that same guy. And a friend of mine, shout out to my friend Mike, he in fact was 300 pounds, right? And, he tells me, even though like he lost a lot of weight and stuff, he's like, he still feels like the same fat kid on the inside, even though now his family, his friends, and whoever, they're more accepting. And of course, not everybody's going to be accepting of the 300-pound guy. Not everybody's going to be accepting of the chubby person. Like, that's just how we are as humans, right? So, I 100% can understand it in a sense like, hey, why weren't you nice to me before? Why weren't you treating me like this before? And it's just people are superficial, man. 100% people are superficial. And it's just the way the world works, unfortunately.
not what we need more of. That kind of stuff
Hmm.
just goes back into the dating
Yeah,
pool and makes
100%.
everybody more miserable and harder to deal
100%.
with.
Now, the difference between an attractive guy and an attractive girl is like so different. An attractive girl,
Let me
sometimes like
hear it.
they don't get guys. They get rejected because people get jealous of them or they're really intimidated or they're jealous. And it's just really hard to be an attractive girl. But for an attractive guy, literally it's like living on the red carpet with silver platters of opportunities handed to you constantly.
Well, not job opportunities. This was roughly my
Okay.
attractive era from here to here, and this was my net worth. And then I had nothing, and now I have internet money. But yeah, she's not
Yay.
wrong. This is an easier position in the market than this. It's easier to get what you want. Now, I wish we could get away from this app style of dating and back to the classics, but I don't know how we're gonna do that. This might even get worse. At least people are starting to get it. But for now, if you
But
are
yeah,
not
that's good.
working
Maybe that is the start. People actually understanding and they're saying, okay, I might be higher, but I'm willing to date lower and maybe bring that person up to a standard or something like that. Not necessarily changing somebody, but giving them enough motivation to say, hey, even though I like you, for you, let's go ahead and work on each other. Because maybe I don't want to stay as an eight. Maybe I want to be a nine. And of course, if you have an attractive woman with you, like, yeah, your number is going to go up and her number is going to go up too. Like, once you guys are together, your numbers go up because you guys are a couple. But yeah, I think that's the perfect time for you guys to also work on yourselves. But, who am I?
get worse. At least people are starting to get it. But for now, if you are not working on yourself, You are potentially giving up a lot of power. Just don't misuse it when you get it, or you'll eventually turn into me, but without the internet money.
Hmm. Yeah, that's some.
Hello, everyone.
This
This is
is running on empty. No, I really do watch this channel, so that's why this popped
I
up.
always
But yeah, this is a great video. Guy pretty privileged, but beauty privilege is for everybody. Like just the more attractive you are, the more opportunity you have. Like whenever you're jacked, right? As a guy, if you're jacked, you immediately start getting validation from other people. I've seen like just, and I'm not even jacked, right? I just work out. But even people that know me, like they're like, "Oh, you lost weight. Oh, you have muscle. Oh, wow." Like, but it's not the first time I've gotten muscle before, right? I used to be a gym bro, and I would be in the gym heavy. Now I've switched over to like more martial arts, so now more calisthenics, more lean, stuff like that. But yeah, you 100% get more validation the more you work out, the more you work on yourself. And it's also a balance. Like once you start getting this validation, keep going. Some people will fall into, oh, wow, I'm getting all these compliments. And then they, fall back and then, they stop working out, whatever. Or, which could be worse, right? Even in this example, you start becoming a more bitter person. You're like, oh, where was this kindness when I was at my lower point? And then, you can turn bad. I've done it too. I'm not even going to lie. Like, whenever I was getting all the looks, because I was in the gym all the time, like when I was getting all the looks, sometimes I would feel a little upset, like, oh, now you guys want to do this or look at me, and it's a tricky world, man. It's honestly very tricky, and if you're not used to it, like me, I wasn't used to it because I've always been the quiet kid, and I work out in high school, right? That's when I started working out, but I never really grew confidence from working out. I just enjoyed working out for the sake of working out. So whenever I did start getting like comments or compliments or whatever, I didn't really know how to take it. And then as I grew and I started getting, um, whenever I was in the gym and I was an adult, I started getting more compliments, more hard eyes on my pictures and all this other stuff. And it definitely can go to your head, man. 100% it can. And then, if you fall back when that stuff does go away, it makes you feel some type of way, like, oh, now you're not talking to me because I don't have the muscles and blah blah blah. And then once you get them back, hard eyes follows again. But man, it's honestly just a mental balance and an emotional balance, and it's something that you can't really explain. Like you can give a guideline, like say, hey, once you get this power, you get some responsibility. At the end of the day, it's up to the person on what they want to do with it. So hopefully you use it for good. Maybe inspire some people to also work out. That's what I try and do now. Like whenever I work out and stuff like that, I try and inspire other people. Yeah, like you can do it too. Just keep going. But that's always something that's what I do. Everybody does something different. Hmm. This is a good video. It made me think a bit about of course, the hierarchy when it comes to dating or hierarchy when it comes to just being attractive in general in the world, right? The more attractive you are, the more privilege you get just based off your looks. And that's just how we work as humans. Whether it's good or bad is but yeah, this is a great video. Anyways, I can't wait to see the next one. I always enjoy these whole math videos. It's just so real. Yeah. And it's also good for your brain. It's good for you to know why things work the way they work. All right. Till the next time, I'll see you guys. Have a good one. Be safe. Bye bye.